The American Dream. What is it? What does it mean nowadays, and how does one obtain it? At the dinner table, among friends, corporate executives, and entrepreneurs, this topic is frequently discussed. This subject has undoubtedly come up frequently during the presidential campaign, but neither candidate has managed to clarify for the American people what exactly this ambiguous phrase means. Make sure to stay tuned till the end to find out. Hey guys, welcome back to another amazing video. Today in this video, we'll be discussing the American Dream and why it's not realistic anymore. But before we head to our topic, make sure to subscribe to our channel Economy Expert for more such economy content. That said, let's take a closer look. People are in agony, and as the anguish intensifies, people are more likely to share it with others. As a result, leaders from both the public and private sectors need to work together and take a bigger part in shaping the new American dream. Today's leaders start to comprehend the challenges that people encounter and the reality of how challenging it is to create and sustain momentum when they are forced to touch the business as much as they lead it. Now that they're getting their hands dirty, leaders are much more conscious of how challenging it is to accomplish anything meaningful and purposeful. But, on the other hand, these very same leaders are aware of the quick changes in social and commercial norms. As a result, in order to be taken into consideration for a loan or an investment to be made in a particular initiative, three things are necessary. Number one, a new strategy to establish trust. Number two, relevance to forge deep relationships. And number three, an almost faultless track record. We use the term New American Dream for this reason. Today, much more is needed for you to even be considered to gain the opportunity to follow your dream, in contrast to the past, when all you required was a college degree to boost your chances of realizing it. Leaders must constantly remind themselves and others that in order to realize the new American dream, you must strike a balance between knowledge, the head, and wisdom, the heart. What you do with what you know is now more important than just what you know. In the modern American economy, it's important to be open-minded, trustworthy, transparent, and kind in your leadership. Why do you think Ann Romney's address at the Republican convention had such a positive response from so many Americans? The new American dream is about understanding how to earn the right to notice opportunity and take advantage of it rather than chasing it. The best possibilities nowadays are obscure. They lie behind doors that can only be obtained via a mix of education and experience. Since access to opportunity has been made too accessible for far too long, it has been misused by greed and mistrust. Opportunity is the genuine mother of success. To achieve the new American dream, you must work for it. Although you won't be able to capture the economy right away because it takes time to get a seat at the table, you must start the conversation. Most people are unaware of this aspect of the new norms. Therefore, leaders must educate themselves on it before carefully imparting it to others. In the past, opportunity existed for those who could recognize it. In order to be given the opportunity today, you must be able to properly route oneself via a filter. This filter assesses how well you utilize both your knowledge and wisdom. A lot of individuals in America still think that the government will fix their issues or that big businesses will stimulate the economy and restore order to the country. The days when something might be considered normal are long gone, very old, and we have serious worries for those who still think they could possibly exist. The writing of history is currently taking place, and we all are learning from contemporary visionaries who have reimagined how to properly seek the new American dream. For example, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Howard Schultz, and Richard Branson. Governments and large corporations used to be able to both supply and facilitate opportunity. Today, it's a blessing if any of these organizations can consistently offer any genuine prospects. Even then, they are most likely no longer able to make it possible for you. They are no longer in charge of that, and in reality, they never were. When the economy was booming, it seemed as though both of those organizations were facilitating opportunity when, in fact, they were merely supplying more resources than usual to make it simpler for individuals to achieve some level of success. Were we a part of a fake reality? This is the reason why the necessity for people to have far more of an entrepreneurial attitude in order to build their own success is being discussed so much more these days. Hope and optimism were inspired by the old American dream. It was simpler to dream when you could think that everything was conceivable. The infrastructure and the resources of the past are either gone, much harder to obtain, or in the process of being reconstructed to support the new ground rules outlined above, even though we enthusiastically urge individuals to keep dreaming and dream big, a set of abilities that must be taught in order to properly grasp an opportunity and maintain momentum are therefore now required in order to gain the right to pursue an opportunity. Now that the year 2022 has arrived, earning serendipity is more important than ever. It doesn't matter where you come from. Condoleezza Rice eloquently stated during her keynote speech at the Republican National Convention, "Where you're going matters. We have never harbored any jealousy against one another. We have always believed in opportunity. No nation can harm us more than we can harm ourselves. The foundation of greatness is seizing opportunity. Your reaction to your situation is under your control." Low-skilled workers struggle in many OECD nations, where technology-driven growth is commonplace. However, outside the US, there hasn't been a comparable rise in premature mortality. Stronger social welfare systems and traditions of collective social responsibility for the underprivileged may be one factor in Europe. Ironically, the American dream might be a contributing factor to the issue. On average, white blue-collar workers whose parents had achieved the American dream and who had hoped that their own children would are those who appear most saddened by its destruction, but on average prefer to vote against government initiatives. Moreover, the United States lacks a cohesive health system and instead has a number of unrelated systems. Veterans of the armed forces have access to the comprehensive, centrally managed, government-run healthcare system. If you're over 65, Medicare, a nationally financed, incredibly generous insurance-based system, will cover for you. Medicaid is a state-run program with some federal funding if you're poor. Your eligibility scope will depend on the state you call home, but the system's qualifying income cutoffs are normally very strict. Despite these changes, 15% or more of people between the ages of 18 and 64 are completely uninsured. Due to the rollback of some Obamacare rules by outgoing President Donald Trump, this figure is anticipated to increase in the near future. The US lacks a network of public hospitals that could be coordinated and mobilized during the COVID pandemic, in contrast to Australia. The majority of US hospitals are not-for-profit institutions, and they bargain with numerous insurance companies to supplement their income. Health insurers manage their costs by imposing out-of-pocket expenses on their clients and by limiting the range of providers that are included in the plan. If you see an uninsured provider, you are responsible for paying the entire amount. Even though they're quite expensive, some hospitals and medical facilities in the US offer the best care available elsewhere. The US health system is quite expensive overall and costs almost twice as much per individual as the Australian system. The truth is that many Americans seldom give a damn about their fellow countrymen, particularly those who are brown and black, and particularly now that the virus has spread. This is the result of 400 years of racism and selfishness. The majority of Americans either act as if nothing can be done about the fact that most of this purportedly natural destruction is caused by globalization and climate change, or they don't care that it does. The COVID-19 problem is another example of America's continued disgrace as the most powerful but least productive country in the world. Is America truly in decline? Yes, it will continue to be a superpower and a wealthy country for the foreseeable future, but with an increasing amount of that wealth and power concentrated in the hands of wealthy white people and companies. Anyone who holds a different view or fights for such ideas while still wanting to keep America as it is today is not only encouraging American bigotry and narcissism, but also ensuring future disasters. They will ultimately bear just as much of the blame as every president since Lyndon Johnson for America's inability to succeed in its grand experiment. America is a country where winners make large sums of money and losers suffer greatly. In fact, the dream's emphasis on individual initiative in a meritocracy has led to significantly less public support than in any other nations for safety nets, career development, and community support for people who are disadvantaged or unlucky. What's your game plan? Balance the mind and the heart in anything you do. Achieve serendipity. Let us know your thoughts on the American dream in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe to our channel Economy Expert for more such amazing content. See you in the next video.